some people don't start for that very reason. Most people don't fail because they can't do the thing. Whatever the thing is, usually the thing is not that hard. At some point, we set out to do this thing, and usually it's not the thing that we can't do. It's failing because we fast forward. We get out over our skis. We get out into the future. We start asking ourselves these questions that we don't have the answers to yet. And there's no way. Will I stick with this? What if I can't keep this up? What if this becomes my life? What if things change?
Welcome to All Can, No Can't, the podcast where we toss out excuses, face our fears, and reclaim control. I'm Jeff Luther, your guide to mastering the chaos and turning obstacles into opportunities. Whether you're an entrepreneur navigating the ups and the downs of building a successful business, or someone ready to rewrite the rules of your life, this is your space to grow, to push boundaries, and to embrace doing the hard shit that leads to greatness. Together, we'll explore stories of resilience, strategies for overcoming, and the mindset shifts that let you build a life on your terms. I use my experience with a life-altering diagnosis to help you find the can in every can't. So buckle up, because it's time to stop living in can't and start thriving in all can. You choose.
Welcome back to All Can, No Can't. I'm your host, Jeff Luther, and this is where we find the opportunity in the obstacle. People who know they're capable of more, but keep getting stuck in their own head. This podcast is for you. And I've been struggling with this episode. My publisher, who does an amazing job, has been pushing me. This is a big episode. It's episode 100. I'm super excited about it, but it's been really difficult for me. This has been a challenge. Finding the perfect episode with the confetti and the fireworks and all the stuff and the Yahoo. But this one's not a victory lap. This one is a reminder, a very simple reminder. It's a reminder that momentum doesn't come from motivation. I want to talk about momentum in this podcast. Momentum comes from the doing. Nothing happens until you take action. And that one little action you take today that can be repeated tomorrow and the next day and the next and the next, then you have momentum. Success is in the action. It is not in the goal. There's a saying I'm sure you've heard before, that the best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago, so that you can enjoy the shade now. And the second best time to plant a tree is now. Most people don't struggle with that advice. They struggle with what comes after that advice or after that saying. Well, then what? What if I don't stick with it? Then what if that becomes my life and my life changes? Then what if I fail? All of those things and those questions, that's why a lot of us never start. Not because the first step is hard, but because what comes after is hard. We try to live out the next 10 years before we even go the next 30 seconds. And that's why my framework and what I coach is so important. 30 seconds at a time. Just stay where you are. So today, it may have been the last episode or one before, I recently got shocked with my ICD. My heart went into bad rhythm. I had sudden cardiac arrest, and the ICD shocked me out of that bad rhythm. Um, and you all know my thing. I was told that I couldn't work out, and I want to continue. I want to keep moving my body. So today I want to talk about kind of my first series of workouts after that shock. The first workout after my shock was actually the easiest one so far. And I'll tell you why the second and the third were even harder, and how momentum finally showed up when I stopped trying to negotiate with my future and I just stayed in the present. I just stayed 30 seconds at a time. So with the first workout after my shock, it was easy. It wasn't physically easy. It was actually my coach made a mistake and gave me doubled up workouts. So I had a really long workout that day, which I thought was odd. So it was hard physically. And it was easy emotionally. I was scared, of course, but I knew one thing. I knew that it would end. I had this small goal of just getting the workout done. I wasn't committing to a new life. I didn't have to decide who I was going to be or what I was going to do from here on out. I just had to lace up my shoes, walk through the door, do one rep, and just do the damn thing. The fear was contained and my window was really small. And that's why the first step sometimes is often the easiest one. You're not changing your identity, you're just surviving that moment. But some people don't start for that very reason. Most people don't fail because they can't do the thing. Whatever the thing is, usually the thing is not that hard. At some point, we set out to do this thing, and usually it's not the thing that we can't do. It's failing because we fast forward. We get out over our skis. We get out into the future. We start asking ourselves these questions that we don't have the answers to yet. And there's no way. Will I stick with this? What if I can't keep this up? What if this becomes my life? What if things change? As you know, I've been coaching for a little over a year now, and my coach just laid something pretty heavy on me. They've challenged me to have 50 powerful coaching conversations booked within the next 30 days. So if you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed, maybe successful but unfulfilled, or you just need to talk something through with someone that you know will listen, then I would love to have that conversation with you. This is not a tactic. There's no sales pitch. It's just one powerful conversation. This is complimentary to you. So if you want in, send me a message and I'll send you the link. I got you. When I started my first podcast, I thought I put it off for so long. My team was asking me to do it. And I put it off for so long because I knew the first one I would be able to do. I just write the first one and do the podcast. But then I thought, then I have to do the next and then the next and the next. And then what if I can't keep up? And what if I can't write episodes? All of these things. I was way out into the future. Now here I am 100 episodes later. And for working out, the problem was never the workout. The problem was the timeline. Um, and I know now the present, right where we are, is where the power lives. And this is something that recovery programs figured out a long time ago. You think, the alcoholic, they don't say in AA, they don't say I'll never drink again ever. They say I'm not drinking today, or I'm not drinking this hour, or sometimes, I'm not going to drink the next 15 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever it is. The smoker, they don't say I just quit forever. I'm currently not smoking. Not because forever is impossible, but because forever is not actionable. The present is actionable. So when I started my third workout after my shock, first workout was easy. I just had to get through it, had to get it over with. The second one, then I was kind of in it, but by the third, I was constantly looking at my heart rate. I almost took my watch off out of frustration and smashed it on the ground. The third workout is when the tears came. That's when I had to commit that this is my negotiation. I have to look at this watch every workout, every minute, every rep to check my heart rate. And that's the frustrating piece, but that's part of it. You just have to keep moving. I just had to keep moving. And early on, I didn't rebuild my life when I took that first step. I rebuilt the next 30 seconds. I put on my shoes. I walked through the door. I started the rep. I finished the set. I left. And that was it. Not looking out to tomorrow, not looking out to next week. I stayed right in the present. And as a result, momentum showed up as a byproduct. That was not the goal. So I did the same thing here. I just took a step. I didn't let the future creep back in. I just did the same thing again. I shrank the window. When fear grows, reduce the time horizon. Bring it all back to right now, to the present, to the next 30 seconds. Don't decide your life, decide the next 30 seconds. And we're back to the tree. The best time to plant a tree was years ago, but the second best time is now. And here's the mistake. Sometimes we think that planting a tree means, committing to this whole forest, committing to being a tree farmer, but it doesn't. It means putting a seed in the ground. That's all that means. You don't worry about the shade. You don't worry about the water. You don't worry about the hold. You don't worry about the soil. You just worry about getting the seed in the ground. That's the next step. So what momentum really is, it's not motivation. Momentum isn't confidence. Momentum isn't certainly not certainty. Momentum is what happens when you stop trying to argue the future or argue with the future, I guess. Stop trying to argue out the future and you start cooperating with the present, right in the now. And that's what I did with this podcast. I quit looking out into the future of how many episodes can I get done? What's going to happen? How are people going to perceive this? All these things that prevented me from taking a step. And I just took a step. I just did that first episode. And I did the second episode. And I stayed in the second episode. And then I did the third. And that's where I stayed. So you're not stuck because you can't do the thing. We know that. You're stuck. We get stuck because we're trying to answer the what before we even know the how, before we even start the how. Shrink the window. 30 seconds. Do the thing. 30 seconds. Then do the next one. And if you think about, if I'll encourage you to right now, think about the thing. What's your thing? If I said do the damn thing, what comes to mind? What have you been contemplating? What have you been thinking about doing? What have you been thinking about doing for too long? Had you started 6 months ago? Had you started 3 months ago? Had you started 9 months ago? Think about how far along you would be now. That's how momentum is built. Not by committing to a forest, but planting that one seed and then showing up again tomorrow. If this episode hit for you, it's probably because you're trying to decide too much at once. Trying to decide how to take that next step. And then what's the third and the fifth and the ninth and the 10th and the 12th and the 15th and all these things out in the future. Just plant the seed. Just take the step. Take action. Nothing happens until we take action. Take a step. I promise you the ground will find you. And then show up again tomorrow. If you know someone who's stuck in their head right now, someone who keeps waiting for clarity instead of taking action, send them this episode. And if you haven't already, maybe follow the show, subscribe wherever you're listening. And I would love for you to be around for the next 100 episodes. It's all about connection, courage, doing the hard thing when sometimes it'd be easier not to. And if you're ready to stop thinking and start moving, you'll find everything that I'm building at jeffluther.com. Again, this is Jeff Luther with All Can, No Can't. This is the podcast where we find the opportunity in the obstacle. Do the thing. Stay present. 30 seconds at a time. All right, and I'll see you next time. Until then, can't wait to see you.
Thanks for listening to All Can, No Can't. If today's episode resonated with you, remember it's not about the chaos you face. It's about how you choose to take back control. It's about finding that one small can in the can't you're given and grinding it down. Find your angle, carve your place out in the world, and get the fucking win. Do that by finding what you can do and not listening to what you can't. You choose. Be sure to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Your support helps me reach more people that are ready to embrace the all-can mindset. And it lets them know there's someone that's willing to walk with them no matter how dark the path gets. You can find me on Insta at JDLuther 2.0 and allcan_no-can't. This is where I share more tips, stories, inspiration to help fuel your journey. And until next time, keep pushing boundaries, breaking limits, proving to yourself that anything is possible, even when you're told it isn't. Remember, life's not about can't. It's all can. Go prove them wrong.